2 days a week, reinforcing the skills that have been taught in class. The data has been analyzed to determine the weaknesses. Some of the strategies that the teacher this year is using to address those weaknesses include the following. She's doing math minutes, which is comprehensive and reviews and drills all concepts. When she does her jamming minute in her classroom, she uses the multiplication CD that she has, and they do their jamming minutes for multiplication songs. She holds individual student conferences so they can be aware of just where they were last year and what they need to do to improve this year. She has adjusted the curriculum map so that she can spend more time on the concepts where the students is weak. She also concentrated on those areas where the students were having the most problems when she set her two student learning goals for evaluation this year. So I think we have a good plan in place for helping the students this year, and hopefully our efforts will be reflected in the achievements of our students next year.
As far as reading goes, we continue to make adjustments to our schedule as needed and how we use our personnel in order not to maintain but to improve test scores and student learning. This year we were designated as a Title I school, which has provided us with some resources that we have not had in 5 years. When you think of Title I, think about the teacher being the cupcake and the Title I teacher being the icing on the cake. So we have extra help for our students for the first time since I've been at Duval. We've hired Title I teachers for math and reading to help catch students up. We've changed the traditional approach to Title I. We no longer are pulling the kids out of the classroom, but the Title I teacher is working within the classroom with small groups. We pull them out as necessary if there's a certain skill they need to work on, but they're getting the very same thing that the other kids are getting. We have an elementary interventionist working with PK2, Miss Amy Linville. She was my third grade teacher, and she continues to just out-teach most teachers. And her kids always show growth, and I just can't say what a great addition to our staff she is, and I'm very thankful every year when she's on board. We have a middle school interventionist now working with special ed students in science and social studies, which is an area that we've not been able to give the kids help in because we just didn't have the staff. We're also using Read 180 to catch students up. We provide co-teaching in every Read 180 class, plus we provide co-teaching in 3 other English classes. As a focus school, we're getting support from RESA in areas of effective leadership teams, professional learning communities, collaboration, professional development, and IPI, which is instructional practice inventories. Ms. Tina Aggins and Mr. Jerry Stanton have also been trained to do IPIs, and we've scheduled an IPI for them to do, and we've also scheduled RESA to come in and do an IPI. Our staff continues to use research-based strategies and incorporates technology to improve student achievement. When we were in school, education looked a certain way. Well, Ms. Ike is here to give you a look at what education looks like today in her classroom.
I just want to give a little snapshot of my classroom, and if the internet cooperates, I have a little video to show you. But anybody that knows me, and you guys have known me for years, you know that I have 2 really great passions in my life. And the number one is books and words and reading. Anytime you see me, I have a book in my hand. If you want to find me, you'll find me at Warner's in the mall, sitting with my parents who are also there reading. So everything that I do in my classroom has to come through a filter. And that filter is a test that I give every single thing. I have a lot of people who tell me what to do and how to do it. I do my own research. I find programs. I tell my kids all the time, I said, I have a boss. I have lots of bosses. But before I do something in my classroom, it has to go through the filter of, does this thing bring my ratings any closer to loving the books? If the answer is no, I don't want to be part of it. So Ms. Clayton asked me to talk a little bit about technology, which is my second love. And that will come about a little bit later. I was the technology into, well, it looks like I don't have the internet right now, but if I do, I'll show you my video. How can you use technology to build literacy skills? So I have to put through the filter that I always use. Is this item of technology going to bring my kids any closer to loving a book? Now you might say, okay, a Kindle, it's not a book, but it doesn't matter. Is it going to make my children love words? And if the technology doesn't answer the question, yes, then I don't want that technology in my classroom. I have to have something that builds literacy in them, so I'm hoping the internet pops up. I'll give it a shot. I did a video, and I can send it to you guys. I can email it to you. I did a video of the day, and I'll just go through what happened today in my classroom with technology. I've been blessed to have Ms. Atkins, and I just going to talk to you in a minute about what goes on in her classroom. We've been blessed to have a tablet for every student in our classes. Every fifth grade student has a tablet. And today, what will be shown in the video is, for one thing, a lot of my kids are listening to great books. Some of them, one day a week, everybody gets to just listen. They just sit, kick back and listen to an ebook in my classroom. And that's what they do for reading. They have strategies that they do. Also in the video, I showed some students who are doing vocabulary work. They pull out their own words out of their reading. We talk about them in class, and then they do word work. And they use the dictionary. And they can use the e-dictionary to get the pronunciation. They get the definitions. They can look it up and see what it looks like. And they do that every day. Also, today in my classroom, I had a webcast of R.L. Stine, who is the author of the Goosebumps series. I got to watch my classroom got to participate in an interview with him, with a New York Times reporter. And these are things that I think pass the filter test of does this technology make my babies want to read more? I think the answer to all that is yes. So that's one way that we're using, I'm proud of that, test scores. Yes. I have to talk about test scores. Good readers do great on their test. So I think my filter test is valid. If I make my babies love books, they're going to do great on their test. So I think that has to be our focus. It has to be the focus of our literacy programs, and it has to be the focus of our technology. So the technology that you guys have provided me is valuable, and we're using it well in our understanding. I'm glad that send you all the email of my kids.
So you can share that with Sean too, and put it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
If you haven't figured out by now, I have a great fifth grade team of teachers. They are phenomenal. They make my life much better. The next one I'd like to introduce you to is Miss Tina Atkins. She's going to talk about some of the innovative programs that we are bringing to Duval.